Hello, and welcome to Community Corner, a show about community benefit organizations in the Central Valley. I'm your host, Faith. Every episode, we highlight a local CBO in Fresno County and talk about the positive impact the organization has on the community. Today, we have Janelle and Scott from Ideaworks. Thank you for joining us today.
You bet.
So tell us about Ideaworks and what's your whole goal and, what you guys are trying to reach out to.
So Fresno Ideaworks is a makerspace, and I guess we should define what a makerspace is. A makerspace is a community center where people come together to learn new skills, to share their ideas, to learn from each other, and to make cool stuff. There are makerspaces all over the world, and some are for-profits and some are non-profits, like Ideaworks. Some are attached to schools or libraries. There's not a very specific definition, but what all makerspaces have in common is that they welcome in anybody who wants to make something with their own hands. So Ideaworks, we're the oldest and most comprehensive makerspace in the Central Valley, possibly in Northern California. We're not sure about those statistics, but we like to say that. We have been in downtown Fresno, first on Broadway and now on H Street for almost 13 years. We've been a nonprofit the whole time, and our goal, our mission, is to share the spirit of that maker movement with anybody who wants to come into our facility and learn to use tools and machines, to learn new skills in any of our many shop areas, like I said before, to share their ideas with other people, and ideally also to collaborate with other Ideaworks members, making cool stuff.
Yeah, I've seen so many cool stuff that you guys made.
It is
super awesome.
It's a very cool place.
What opportunities are there for the Central Valley and the community that you guys can offer?
There are quite a few different opportunities.
Yeah, so like members, memberships, like what do your memberships offer?
Right. Okay, so you can be a member of Fresno Ideaworks, which means that it's sort of a subscription like a gym or a meal plan or something, where for your monthly membership, you have access to the facility and to the community, which is the more important part, and to all of the tools and machines that you have been cleared to use, which just means we require some safety orientation. The benefits of membership are that we have a monthly member meeting that's a pizza party, and it's really fun, and we have maker prompts where we challenge people to make something on a certain theme. As a member, you're also entitled to vote annually for our nonprofit board. There are 1 million volunteer opportunities for members and non-members. If you don't really know how you want to participate as a member yet, we do offer public classes in almost every shop area. So that's wood shop and welding, ceramics, sewing and textile arts, a whole bunch of stuff. You have to look at our website. Some fine arts classes, linoleum block printing, and lampwork glass, which is not glass blowing, it's the finer torch work. All kinds of stuff you can do there as a student. We've also, in the past and will in the future, partner with local schools, with the libraries, with youth organizations like Scouting, to give younger people an opportunity as well to do some things that you can't always do in the public schools anymore that maybe for past generations were normal curriculum, like woodshop. We also welcome volunteers all the time. Anybody who wants to come in and clean a bathroom or paint a wall, or there are just a million things volunteers can do to help us out, because our entire revenue stream is those memberships and class registrations, which really just mostly cover the cost of the class, and then the generosity of the greater community.
I'll drill down on one more benefit that you touched on that really is something that surprised us when we built the shop. We thought we were building a shop full of tools, but as Janelle alluded, it's the people that wound up being the secret sauce.
Absolutely.
So you can go on YouTube and you can find videos that'll walk you through how to edit film and do woodworking and do all the things that we do. But there's something totally different about having a person there to talk to, somebody you can pose your questions to. And when you get stuck, because we all get stuck. I mean, I can't remember a project I didn't get stuck on. And as a consequence, I've got closets full of halfway done projects at home. But at Ideaworks, there's somebody there. There's people that might challenge you. Where's that gizmo you were working on last time? Oh, it sucks. there's people that ask questions. If I've been stuck on projects in wood shop, and there's nobody in wood shop to talk to, and I wound up talking to somebody in ceramics and just explaining what was going on and where I was stuck, and they had amazingly insightful answers that weren't grounded in wood shop. They were grounded in the making experience. They were grounded in the creative process of the whole thing, and nobody in wood shop could have given me that same insight. So being able to draw on different creative people and different creative people's perspectives just totally wasn't an expected side effect of the shop. And it turns out that's the most amazing part.
Yeah, having
I
the
agree.
support I think is really, really good, and like eating off each other's, creativity.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Especially with all of the things you have to offer is a lot. And it's not
Right,
just
and
like
I'm really
one
glad
specific-
that you brought that up actually, because it's so true that not everybody wants to be with lots of other people all the time. I actually don't. I'm pretty introverted, but knowing that I do have access to those people when I need them, and in my experience, are both our class instructors and our sort of core members, people you can expect to run into most of the time down there.
Regulars.
They're very generous with their time and their knowledge, and it's not in a way that's, I think you're not doing that the right way. It's more that, have you looked at it from this perspective? Or can I give you a hand with that? And they're not offended if you say, no, I've got it. It's a very nurturing environment for me. And I appreciate that very much. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a surprising lack of ego.
Yeah.
You ask a variety of people for a direction or help on a project, and you'll get half a dozen different ways to approach it, and they're all great.
Yeah.
But whatever you choose, you will get supported on. It's
I think that's
really
true.
amazing.
And I'm really proud that our membership draws from, we were writing Measure P grant applications this spring, like so many of the other organizations that I know that you've worked with too. And I was really proud to be able to do a little research and realize that at that time, and I hope still now, we had members and or students from every zip code in Fresno.
Oh, wow.
And we also have members, in Hanford and Reedley and
San Luis Obispo.
Sanger, and we've got a member in San Luis Obispo who drives up to use our ceramic studio whenever she's up here for work. Actually, she drops in. We have a member in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
When she's in town visiting her father, she makes a point of coming in also to our ceramic shop. And that to me says that it's working. So that kind of maker spirit that I alluded to before, it's not just the desire to make things, it's also the desire to belong to something.
Yeah, seems like a strong environment.
Yeah,
Going
and
on.
that doesn't mean we're all best friends all the time. We are not. But
I hate Janelle. It's
can't stand Scott either.
I hide it most of the time, but she really just raises my hackles.
But
pressure.
we can also be silly sometimes. And when it's not time to be silly, we can say, knock it off, we're doing an interview here. And it's all good because we're going to get back to a project soon and work with each other and help each other out. And it's an awful lot of fun. So
Another aspect that we haven't really touched on is, so this has mostly been about what within the shop, our members, and what we do, but we also do things with other people, other organizations.
Right.
Traditionally, we did a lot of that when we were first starting, but even now, when we have lots of, we call people friends of the shop. They don't need to be a member, they've got their stuff, they're fine, they're doing their thing, but just because they're not going to be a member and engaged at that level, we don't want them drifting off.
Yeah.
We want them to stay engaged with us, come to our events,
Feel
come
appreciated.
teach
Yeah.
classes at our
Have a
shop.
connection, yeah.
And so as a result, we've kind of got an open door policy. If somebody wants to teach anybody how to do anything,
That's awesome.
come on down. We've got room, we've got space, come teach a class. We've done everything from beginning beer making classes to
That's cool.
block print, linoleum
Yeah,
block
the linoleum
printing.
block printing is a new
Yeah, I mean,
activity. Yeah.
we've done one-off classes.
Flower arranging. We
Yeah.
had flower arranging
polymer clay
classes.
stuff. So anything that
the
anybody
jack of
wants
all
to
trades.
teach.
Yes, yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just basically there for anybody that wants to teach anything.
Because
like
we're just
that.
trying to nurture that, everybody is born creative, but not everybody
Has the tools and the guidance to be
exactly,
able to do
or
that.
even the understanding that they are a creative person.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you have to be the most talented person or the hard-workingest, I'm not sure if that's English, but the most hardworking person. We all want to express ourselves somehow. And so Ideaworks provides an opportunity to do that as well, to just try something. You know, we said after COVID that our ceramic shop really exploded, and I've noticed there are quite a few independent ceramic studios in Fresno now that are new too. And I think most of those people don't plan to be great ceramic artists or make a lot of money, you know, throwing mugs or whatever. But there's something very therapeutic about honestly beating the crap out of a lump of clay and then having that emerge as something that is beautiful or useful or that you're just proud of because you made it yourself. And that's true in whatever shop area. You know, you can be a little bit aggressive or you can be very gentle and artistic. It doesn't matter, but in the end, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you tried something and
it's a good
you made
positive
something.
Stress relief.
Absolutely.
Yeah. New skills,
Yes.
you know, you never know where that could lead
And
you.
like Scott said, everybody else that you're working with has also struggled or made a mistake or been uncertain about where to go next with a project. And that's okay, because we're just there to make stuff.
Yeah, just have fun pretty much. So what about your public classes like Tech Tuesday? What does that have to
Okay,
do?
so historically we had quite a few of these no-cost sort of community meetup kind of activities going on. And they were all fun to say. There was Metal Monday and Tech Tuesday and the Woolly Wednesdays were our knitters and fiber artists. Those over time did fall away a little bit, and we try really hard to not bludgeon people with doing the same stuff all the time. We try to respond to what the community seems to want. So the only really open shop night that we still have like that is Tech Tuesday, which is a no cost, anyone can come and drop in, and that's folks who are just interested in anything you might consider techie, from writing code to robotics to microcontrollers, microprocessors, any of that kind of techie, nerdy stuff, which is actually not my thing. And the idea is whether or not you're an Ideaworks member or have ever even been in the shop before, you're welcome to come in and talk about a project you're interested in and get a little help and encouragement, some good advice, and some hands-on help too if you need it. So we've had folks drop in to do anything you can imagine. Most recently, we had I don't know if he was a graduate student.
No.
He was a
scientist,
biologist at any rate, who was specifically looking at burrowing owl populations, and one of his underground cameras had failed. So he couldn't collect some data that he needed desperately, and I don't know how, he heard about Tech Tuesday, but he dropped in, and these guys jumped in immediately because the project was just so interesting to repair his camera, get things up and running again. He came back quite a few times, even came to one of our member meetings just to tell people about his project and hang out. That was really cool. We used to have a member who his hobby was something, rolling pigeon races or something. I mean, something that I had never heard of, but they were having trouble calculating how many times these pigeons roll in the air before they start flying straight again. So our Tech Tuesday folks were helping him develop some kind of little pigeon backpack with all the sensors in it that he needed to be able to count how many times his pigeons roll in the air. And then we have very, much more predictable projects going on too, of course, but I mean, it's just that much fun.
Well, and we have people come in, because we have tools, because we have the ability to make stuff. We have people come in and they're like, I've got this invention. Can you help me?
Right.
And so we have helped people make their patent samples for their patent applications.
Right.
We've helped people make manufacturing prototypes. We've helped people work through just the development process to see if their idea is even feasible or possible. And because we've got people that do all these different things, when somebody comes and says, I want to build some soil sensors that'll do a mesh network and they'll do all this gizmo. Well, there's some chemistry involved with that. There's some electronics, there's some computer stuff. And well, let's get him and let's get them. And we pull people together and it's fascinating. It's really an amazing thing to see when that happens. And Fresno's, traditionally manufacturing happens where where you've got raw materials and access to shipping. So the auto industry's in the Great Lakes because they've got steel and the Great Lakes. And so all of their engineers wound up there and all their other stuff. Well, now we don't manufacture where we design stuff. So Fresno can be a design hub. We can have all the engineers here and farm out all that work. So Fresno's really ideally suited to the new economy where the brains can be in one place and all the work can go on elsewhere.
But we can also make room for the artists and
absolutely.
Cultural arts. And that's a cool thing about the makerspace is we can attend to both of those. Well, it's not really both. I mean, there's a huge overlap, but
there's a limitation.
It's just, again, nurturing that creativity and helping people be less shy about just taking a risk and trying something, because it might not work, and that's okay. It's another thing that we say all the time is there are no mistakes, only opportunities to try it a different way. There are no mistakes, only lessons, right? So, and that's true if you're just in the wood shop because you want to make a little end table and that's really all you want to do. There's no high tech, there's no fancy. Or maybe you want to learn to hand carve some amazing thing for your home, or maybe you, I don't know what. And there's a lot of cross-shop work too, where maybe something you're building in wood is going to have this electronic component.
That's
and
my
you
favorite
need help
thing.
from, the cross-shop stuff.
Yeah.
So anything you can imagine making by hand, we can do that at Ideaworks. I say that, there are some caveats. We've got some tools and machines in storage right now while we're always working on improving our building. But for the most part, we can do that.
I like this. We have opportunities like available for people who are beginners to very advanced.
Exactly.
They all just blend in together, make a team, and
Absolutely.
work off each other and bounce off ideas. And I like that.
Absolutely. And we don't expect every member or every student to come in and master everything. That would be crazy. But we do expect people to come in and try something and be willing to learn. And willing to participate a little bit in that exchange of information and ideas with other people. And that's not that hard to do once you're in there. That's not asking a lot.
Yeah, 'cause I see it on like TikTok and YouTube, all these people who like make different things, and do different things, but they don't have the location or like, the support to do it.
And I don't want all those woodshop tools in my garage. I don't.
Well, and I'm a generalist. I don't want to just do woodshop. I need welding stuff.
That too.
I'm in all the shop areas, and there's no way I can have that in my garage.
Right.
And so this is like a way to get that without having to get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm actually
Very
perfectly happy occasionally to use my orbital sander at home or my sewing machine. But for the full project, I would actually rather be down here kind of sharing space with someone that I can chat with,
because then you never know.
or using a tool that I don't have at home to finish
Or
a project.
get those extra hands that you sometimes need to keep.
Literally hold this for me.
Yeah.
That's for
See, I'm the
sure.
type of person like I want to do multiple things. I don't know what thing I want to fully put my heart into. So I have a crit cut and I have a woodwork tool,
Exactly.
and I have just different things like sewing and needles, and I don't know exactly what I want.
Do you want to teach a cricket class?
We've got
That'd be cool.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I might know how to make some nuts.
Okay, well, come on down. We'll talk.
That'd be fun. Definitely. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Anybody can walk into Fresno Ideaworks when we're open and ask if the shop steward, who is just a volunteer member on duty, will give them a tour and answer some questions. And the answer should always be yes. And they'll show you around. They will answer your questions. Yeah, we strive to be a welcoming space. It's very noisy and it's very dusty because it's a working shop, but it's really cool.
Yeah, I was looking on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I said Reddit, everywhere, just looking what you guys do. I've seen a lot.
I don't know if social media is really our strength, but we try because we have zero marketing budget.
That's the trick with being an all-volunteer organization.
Yeah.
People volunteer who have certain skills. Like we've got people who are very good at social media, but they're not volunteering at the shop to do that. So we take the volunteers for the help that they can offer when they can offer it, and somehow we've managed to keep going for 13 years. So
and we are an all volunteer.
You guys have something very special.
It's working.
Definitely.
Yeah. But it is ever changing, ever evolving.
Yeah.
And,
So what about Art Hop? What can you guys offer for Art Hop?
So we have been an official Art Hop venue for a very long time, for many years. We've
well over a decade.
Yes. We do whatever we can to do what we're doing all the time, which is to welcome people into the shop. So we're not a traditional art studio, although we certainly can provide, space for artists to learn and create. We're also not a gallery, partly because we don't have a space for a gallery, environment. We can't keep it that clean, that kind of thing. But we are very happy to create space for a show. We're very happy to welcome vendors into the shop who are not necessarily members of Ideaworks, although we encourage our members who do, manufacture and sell to do that. Our current address on H Street is tricky because we don't have neighboring businesses that are open in the evenings. We don't have good lighting. And frankly, the waste facility
You don't need to dwell
across
on
the
the
street
trash
from
cans
us
across the street.
it's just not beautiful. Let's just say that. But once, so we don't have that foot traffic for those reasons. So people don't walk into the shop during Art Hop, but people do come to Ideaworks on purpose during Art Hop because they're curious about the makerspace, or if we are having a show and we promote it properly, they're coming for that. Really what we want to do during Art Hop is those two things. We want to feature anybody who does want to show their work and sell their work during Art Hop in our space. And we want to show the space so that artists understand that there is another opportunity to access the tools and machines that they might not otherwise, have to make all that they want to make in our shop. For instance, our ceramicists, we probably have a dozen members who use our ceramics shop regularly and make quite a lot. And the advantage of their membership at Ideaworks is that their membership includes using our kilns. We have some common materials, glazes and things that they're entitled to use. They have each other to solve those problems that you always have, like I want my handle on the mug to be this shape, but I can't figure out the engineering. There's always someone there to help you with something like that. For them as artists to be able to produce things to sell at Art Hop or to show at Art Hop is really important because they certainly couldn't all afford a kiln at home, let alone a wheel, or the studio space separate from their living space. So the opportunities for artists, whether it be in wood or metal or ceramics or textiles or digital art, we've, just as we do for our members who don't consider themselves artists, we have that the facility and the tools for them to use to manufacture and to show during Art Hop. So.
And we've also, in the past, we've focused on one shop area for Art Hop. So this is going to be textiles Art Hop, and so we get extra textiles stuff going on. We try to cross it over into other shop areas. We've had wood shop focused Art Hops. As Janelle said, we've had outside folks come. We had a class from Fresno State who was doing art.
They were oil painting.
The gallery curation class.
Oh, that's
so
right.
how do you put on a gallery show? And so they came, and we said, okay, take what you want. You need to move all our tables. You need to move whatever. And so we gave them full reign. They moved all of our stuff out of the way. They put stuff up on all the walls. They mounted an entire exhibition in our space.
Wow.
And it was great for them, but it was great for us and our members because we got to see how they did that. We got to be around these people that do something that we're not usually around. And so anytime we can collaborate with another organization, person, artist, whoever, that can bring new information, new thoughts, new things. We had, years ago, we had the Fresno State anthropology class came and did an anthropological study of our members.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, yes, let's tell us what this is about. Show us how you do this.
Culture.
Because the more processes, the more things, whether you're making a report, whether you're making a pot, whether you're making a table, whether you're mounting an exhibition, it's all that same creative process. And it all, the bits and pieces that I can pick up out of any of those things are things that I'm going to work into the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a fertile environment for ideas. And bringing those ideas out and sharing those ideas and eavesdropping on other people's ideas, it
just seems to be
can be
growing and
addictive.
growing.
Right.
Yeah.
And since we are an all-volunteer organization, even like right now, there's a big discussion about how to rework our lobby space to make it better for Art Hop. There are a million ideas flowing in, and there's some little disagreements, but for the most part, that's good because it means that the community is engaged in
Working
making
together.
the makerspace. So we're not just, making our thing in woodshop or inviting some artists in to do some random thing, but we're actually thinking about how can we make the makerspace? How can we make this better, not just for our students and our membership, but for anybody who wants to come in here and take advantage of the space, including artists during Art Hops. And that's really important. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that conversation works out because I'm not really part of it, and that's cool to see, what other people are doing. So, yeah.
So what do we hope to see in the future with Ideaworks?
Oh, so many things. There are a number of things going on right now, and weirdly, some of it is still post-COVID recovery. The two things that are always in my head are that our building, we're only using about half of our building right now because we just need to do some serious renovations with the upper floors and make them accessible. So there's always that. So one of the things to look forward to is just how we're going to be expanding the shop spaces, being able then to open up more programs and more different, shop areas. But that's a huge, huge job. Oh my golly, it's fun, but nerve-wracking at the same time. The other is looking outward again, because since COVID, we've done almost nothing out in the community. We used to be the official Santa's workshop for the annual Christmas parade, and that hasn't happened since COVID. We did a series of very successful maker fairs. Make Magazine is a thing that makers know about, and an arm of Make Magazine is something called Maker Fair, and we are a Maker Fair licensee, but we haven't had a Maker Fair for a long time. So we will be partnering, as far as I know, and I hope this isn't wrong, with the Fresno Grizzlies again, which is something we did several years in the past, to have the only Central Valley Maker Fair. And anybody who wants to look up Maker Fair, they happen all over the world, but we're the only Central Valley Maker Fair. So I'm really excited about that because it's super fun.
And it builds community. And the more
It absolutely builds
it's greater
community.
connection to the community. And when we get more of the community engaged with each other, they do better stuff.
Right.
Like we've spoken about how we get the secret sauce going in the shop, and we get people working with each other, and we share ideas. But these events outside of the shop allow us to get those friends of the shop and beyond to get together, and they get to meet each other. They get to see what each other do and how each other do it. And at these maker fairs, we've had people who make steam engines. We've had people who do backyard bird raising. We've had people who make robots. We've had people who do woodworking. Everything you can think of come and just show off what they make.
So those kinds of collaborations, be it with, if it's a maker fair or collaborating with a local museum or a school or the libraries, whatever it is, that's something that I would really like us to see us get back to, just for that reason. And whether or not that specifically benefits Ideaworks isn't the point. The point is to bring other people together, to bring creative people together, to build Fresno.
Yeah, you have so many opportunities with members, non-members, volunteering communities.
And organizations like CMAC or, the museums, Arte Americas or the Art Museum or the African American History Museum or whatever, anybody whose goal is to build up the community. That's something that we want to be part of, and we want to be supportive of it however we can. So doing our own kind of outreach, we would hope, helps at least in some way to bring more people together.
And we've done projects in the shop for local downtown businesses. We've done projects for other nonprofits. One year we rebuilt all of the Rogue Festival's signage. We've got the tools. So how can we use them? What can we do?
What can we do?
And so people come to us and say, hey, we need this thing, or our stuff is falling apart. And it's about making the community better. And we've partnered with CMAC on things. We've just done everything we can think of to get people together and doing creative things.
I know that
and yeah,
Scott and some of our woodshop guys are building something right now for a very important community organization, and it looks cool. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it,
it's a lot of fun.
And that again, it's just an opportunity for him to work with some people that he hadn't worked with before in the community, for us to make those connections and see where else we can work our way into.
Yeah, we've got these resources.
Downtown,
Well, I
especially.
heard it here just from you guys, straight from you guys. If they want to, collaborate,
Yeah.
you guys are willing to, and you guys are willing to work with
Absolutely.
other nonprofits. So
Yeah.
shouldn't be no problem.
And there was more talk with collaboration, again, before COVID. We were having a regular monthly meeting with some folks from CMAC and I think 4 or 5 other creative nonprofit organizations in Fresno. And then that darn virus kind of shut us all down, and it has been hard to find the time and the energy to reach outward for us. I'm not saying that about other organizations. I think everyone's done an amazing job.
And for the first bunch of
we want
years,
to get there for sure.
For the first bunch of years that we existed, when we did our 8 maker fairs with the Grizzlies, we did 2 maker fairs with the Fresno Art Museum, we did all these events and all these things, we had a free-ish building. Our landlord was gracious enough to just let us have this building, and we paid some rent, but we were way under market value, but he saw the value in what we were trying to do. And he helped us to get to where we were.
There would be no Ideaworks without him.
When we moved into our current location, which is a building we were buying, we had to figure out how to pay bills. We had to be grown-ups. And so that took away a lot of that external energy as well. Now we've figured it out. We know how to pay our bills. We know how to act right. We know how to be grown up when we need to be. We were able to apply for grants, which is the first time in 12 years of existence that we managed to do that, and that was great. So now that we've got these cornerstones of an organization that is built to prove its survivability, its sustainability, now we're able to once again step back and say, okay, what does Fresno need again? What can we do? What can we bring? What value can we offer? And so yeah, that's where we're at. And
So when
it's
you ask what's
surprisingly
next, it's, I don't know.
yeah, everything, all of it.
You have carpet building next,
Right. But there's a lot in the works, and there's always something new from Ideaworks.
I'm
So,
excited.
Yeah,
but
it's very
working
cool.
on our facility is a huge priority, and then kind of restoring some of that outreach and community collaboration is very high priority.
Yeah.
So what are some maybe classes you guys have coming up maybe within this month or so?
So a lot of our instructors kind of back off in the hotter months of the summer because it does get real hot in the shop. But I know that right now we've got our regular series of woodshop and welding classes scheduled, and those are 3 sessions over 3 weeks, just of basic skills or refresher skills and safety in our shops. And those instructors have been teaching for us for a long, long time. They're both active members and regular volunteers too, and they get consistently great compliments and reviews from their students. We also have new activity in the wood shop. So beyond that beginning class, we've got classical hand carving. Our instructor is a really cool woman whose career for a long time was restoring architectural motifs by hand carving wood, which is so cool. So there's that class. There's an intermediate woodshop class, which is just more practice with some of the basic tools and machines to make something that's maybe a little more refined. And we've got a 1-day workshop using the wood lathes, which is turning, to make wooden pens. That's the regular project because it's a good place to start. Yeah, and that's kind of a fun, actually. That one's popular as like a date night or something. Yeah.
Super
so
cool.
that's a fun class, and that instructor is awesome too. All of our instructors are great. So that's the wood shop, the welding, and our welding instructor also. He's an industrial welder by trade, but he's a very fine metal artist as well.
And super patient and helpful.
Super patient,
awesome.
loves working with teenagers. He's great. I took that class. I can't weld, but that's because I never practiced. So that's not on him, that's on me.
The short answer is check the website.
Check the
because we have
website.
got a constant flow
Yes.
of new classes coming through. Like I say, anybody who comes to us and says, can I teach underwater basket weaving. We're like, yeah, well,
If we
how big
can
of a
sell
tent do you
it,
need?
yeah, we'll do it. Yeah,
Yeah, and so yeah, we are constantly having new offerings and new classes that surprise us. So,
And we
yeah.
are trying very hard right now to develop more of those kind of one-day things where you can come in and get a taste of something, or to do an art project that isn't necessarily a tools and machines project.
We call them make and take classes.
Or we call them arty parties.
That's cool.
And but for that, it's just a matter of us needing to know what people want. And so anyone is welcome anytime to call us or send an email and say, hey, is there any chance you can, offer a short workshop in this thing that I can't seem to figure out from YouTube? Or,
Yeah, it's awesome because some people don't know what they want to do until they actually get their
I think
foot in the door
that's
to do
true.
it.
And
they
that's
figure-
another thing that we want to develop is what we call a maker series, where there are 6 or 7 short classes that introduce you very briefly to a skill. So maybe using the laser cutter and using a sewing machine and using some of the leather tools to make a project.
Yeah.
So, and that to me sounds really fun. I would take that class. So, yeah.
Because there's people I see like they do odd crafts, and it's like, oh, how did they learn to do that, or what
Right.
make them want to do that? It's
Right.
like, well, they had to start randomly, putting their foot in the door to get those skills and
Exactly.
figure out how great they could go with that skill.
Yeah.
So our final question is, how will people learn about Ideaworks, or be able to location, website, how to find you guys?
Okay, so we're on all the socials. Well, not all of them, but we do have Facebook and Instagram postings pretty regularly. TikTok, not so much. Our website is the best place to get information about us, and we're the only Fresno Ideaworks. So just search up Fresno Ideaworks, and it's a pretty comprehensive website. You should be able to find information there about all of our public classes, about memberships, about volunteer opportunities, about donating to the nonprofit, which I just have to say that. Donating to the
Helps
nonprofit.
bring more skills. and more,
$5,
to them.
$5,000, whatever you've got, we'll take it, and we will put it to good use in our programs.
Yes.
All of that is on the website. It's FresnoIdeaworks.org is the easiest way, and anybody can, on the website, their phone number is there. I don't know it. You can always call and leave a message or email info@FresnoIdeaworks.org with a question, and we'll answer it.
I know we went over the address. Do you want to give the street address again? just in case
Yes,
people don't
we
pop up?
are 1730 H Street, which is in between Amador and San Joaquin, so we're right behind the Peerless Building. So the Peerless Building on Broadway, which is south of Shaw Beer and all those cool businesses that are
Right
on that
behind
block.
the Rainbow Ballroom as well.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
Rainbow Ballroom is on the other corner, right? We're on the other side of the alley facing the train tracks on H Street. So
Okay, cool. Do you guys want to leave any more comments before we wrap up?
come to Ideaworks.
Yeah. Come make some stuff.
We
And
will be open for September Art Hop.
and we've
We're
got your
closed for
number,
August.
so we expect you
Yeah, I need
in
to
the
come.
shop.
Yes, we're gonna.
And,
Faith is coming into the
yeah.
shop.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, come check it out.
We've been planning
Yes.
on it.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
So thank you for joining us today on Community Corner. We hope you enjoy getting to know more about Ideaworks and the work they are doing to improve our community. I would like to thank Janelle and Scott for taking the time out of their day to join us here at the studio. So
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having
You're
us.
welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
It was a great conversation and great to know about Ideaworks and what they do.
Well, it was really good to meet you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
If you or someone you know would like to be featured in a future episode, please send an email to info@cmac.tv. Thank you for watching.